formatting our pages using tables and cascading style sheets. So we've worked with cascading style sheets a lot. We've gone through and used them to create fonts, font colors. Then we went through and used our cascading style sheet to go through and set our sprite image bar or menu bar to be able to set our colors and our fonts and all of those different things. What we're going to do today, our cascading style sheet, we're actually going to use it to go through and set up and format our page itself, and then using tables to go through and get some of our content on there. So we have cascading style sheet page layouts. Basically, instead of starting with just a blank page, we can choose different layouts that would be going through and have it set up so we can have content. So for example, at the bottom of our page, we could have a footer that would say copyright and the year and information, different text on the bottom, and that would be something consistent, and you wouldn't have to worry about its formatting, and you can have shading on the side. We are going to go through and work with our containers on our cascading style sheet page, set up using our div tags. Div tags allows you to position elements next to each other as well as on top of each other, so you can have a little bit of positioning with that. We're also going to work with tables, and tables we know we have done before. We have tables have columns and rows, and the intersection of the two are going to be cells. So the first thing that we actually have to do is when we go ahead and start, notice I didn't tell you to open up a page in DreamWeaver. I said just go ahead and open up DreamWeaver and get to Striped Umbrella. So you should not have a page open. So if you have one open, close it, please. And when we look here on DreamWeaver, right here are all of the recent pages that we have worked with. Okay. Michaela, you got it open? In the past, if we created a blank one, we would just go ahead and click right here on HTML for creating a blank HTML page. But what we have down here is going to be our CSS. So when we actually go right here, we're going to go ahead and click right here. Oh, that is not what I wanted, excuse me. I'm going to go File, New, and then when I go to New, here I have my option of CSS. I have an action script, XHTML, library item, HTML template, and then we have HTML. So you will notice that these two look very similar, my HTML and my HTML template. We are not going to be working with the template file, but we will work with our HTML file. When I said CSS before, I was actually making a CSS page, not where you would format everything, not necessarily the page that uses CSS for formatting. So I misspoke on that one. I apologize. We do have these options here. So each one, if I click it, it will show you kind of what that content would look like. And the one that we want to choose is we want to choose the 2-column fixed left sidebar header and footer, which is this one. So 2 columns, a left sidebar, a header, and a footer. Now, we have been doing pages with headers all along, but we didn't actually use a header space. All we did is put our banner up there, and below our banner, we put our nav bar. We haven't done anything with footers before, which are going to be in this area. And what do you think would go here? Menu bar or your nav bar? So you have that option, and it would be pre-formatted in there. You can then also go through and do different shading. You could make this area one color, this area a different color, side, and then your main content would fit in there. So we're going to go ahead and use that page. The other thing we want to do before we click on Create is we have an option right here to attach our CSS file. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that link. And then you should be able to be linked automatically to your Striped Umbrella style sheet. And then you would click on OK. So we're attaching our cascading style sheet that we had already created for striped umbrella immediately. Are you folder on your right? Are you on striped umbrella? If not, click on cancel, and then on the right-hand side, make sure that the site that you're working in is striped umbrella. On the right-hand side, change your folder right here. File new. And then you should be right where I'm at. And then attach your striped umbrella one. We're good? Okay, then we're going to go ahead and click on create. Now, you will notice this page is pre-built with some content. It's also pre-built with some shading, and it has some text in there. So this is opening based on a pre-designed CSS layout that we chose. It has two columns, one as a sidebar and one as a left side, as well as a header and a footer. We have placeholder text. We're going to be replacing all this text with content for the Striped Umbrella website. The CSS blocks each have different colored backgrounds to see how the blocks are arranged on the page. And this page is going to replace the blank cafe page. We should see, if we go ahead and go to split screen, we have our cascading style sheet right here, our striped umbrellas CSS. But then when I actually look at my content, I actually have a whole bunch of cascading style sheet information pre-built on the page. Bless you. So just to note that there's some that's going to be internal, and then you have your external ones. So what we're going to do is we're going to select all the content between the header and the footer in the main section. So I'm going to select right here. And what I want to do right now is I want to switch on my properties panel on the bottom from HTML to CSS. And I'm going to set this rule to paragraph. Do I have a paragraph one? Hang on. Sorry, let's go back to HTML, and then it's right below none. We'll go to that one. Instead of CSS, sorry, I clicked one too many spots, and switch it to paragraph. So what did that really do? Oh, I clicked off. It just kind of went through and broke everything. Hang on, mine looks different than yours. I did something else. You were fine. So basically, instructions, clearing method, logo replacement were set as headings, and I just highlighted all of it and set it all to paragraph text because we're going to replace this with text from our that's been given to us already. So we need to import, so we're going to go to File, Import, Word Document, and this is going to be found on the network. We're in Chapter 6, and it should be the cafe text. Couple things that we did is we made sure that we set everything to paragraph text. Everything was still selected, and then we imported that text. Now, it was not a lot of text. Would you agree? Click on retry. Yeah, I think other people were accessing the Word document at the same time. Okay. If you got a message saying that there was an error with it, it could be that multiple people were accessing that Word document at exactly the same moment. If you hit retry and file import, it should work from what I can see. Okay. Keely, can you get a picture with the classes with their cookies as a post? Picture with the classes and their cookies. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to switch to our code view. So my cursor was still kind of in this paragraph text, and I switched to code view. And what we're going to be working on is, do you see where it says this div class sidebar 1? We're going to highlight, for me, it's line 138. Down to 145, right where it says end sidebar 1. So I do not have on line 137 div class sidebar 1, but I have going all the way through that P tag before where it says end sidebar 1. Okay, so it's really important not to have that beginning div tag or the ending div tag selected. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and hit delete. So I'm deleting this in code view. Then I'm going to go back to design view. And basically, what did we just get rid of? Oh, not too much. We really just got rid of, on the left-hand side, there was a bunch of text here that had like a menu bar on it, and we just wanted to get rid of that to go through and add our own information. What's that? Click on undo. Some of you had more things highlighted than you should. So Brianne, hit undo. Michaela, undo. Control Z. Jacob, go to design view. Undo, Jacob. There you go. You need to import your text yet, Jacob? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on replacing our footer. So we just got rid of the extra text in our sidebar heading. Now we're going to get some text on our footer area. So just to kind of have a view of where we're going. It's me. There we go. Thank you, Brady. Oh, you know what? We need to type some text in right here first before we do our footers. You're going to type in reservations are recommended for the dining room during the peak summer season. Reservations are recommended for the dining room during peak summer season. Again, reservations are recommended for the dining room during peak summer season. And again, that is where we just deleted that menu bar area. For our footer, we're going to go through and put in our copyright information. So I'm going to delete just that text right within our design view. Everything that was there within my footer, I just deleted, and I'm going to type in copyright 2002 to 2018. The striped umbrella So, right now we're going to do a file, save as, and we're going to save this as cafe. So I'm going to do file, save as, and I'm going to replace cafe. And when I do that, what's going to happen is it's going to make my menu bar and all my other pages link correctly. So it's important that this word is spelled correctly and that I'm linking to it. Well, all right. Thank you for letting me know. Thanks for going for a walk. So we just went through and did a file, save as, and save this as cafe. Brady, all you missed is we typed some text in 2 spots. Thank you. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to open up the index page. Now, what I want to do on the index page, I need to select, on the index page is you're going to select the banner and your nav bar. And guess what we're going to do? Copy and paste it. Okay? So I'm selecting the banner. Oops, not that way. Yep. So I actually started to the right of my menu bar and drug up. The other thing you can do is if we go to split screen, you can make sure that you have everything selected, including your menu bar, which I do have everything there just to make sure you have everything right. So I'm then going to go to Edit Copy. You can do Control-C as well. I'm going to go to Cafe. I need to put this right here where it says click the placeholder logo image. So I have that selected. And then I'm going to go ahead and paste my menu bar, my nav bar, and my logo and my menu bar. I kept saying the same thing. Colors don't match. It's okay. Breathe. Breathe. It's okay. Who needs help copying and pasting their logo and their menu bar? Now, my logo is still selected. How can I tell that? Because my properties panel down here still gives me all of my options for working with my image. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and enter in, before it, a Shift Enter, just to put a BR. So I had it selected. Then I moved my cursor 1 to the left and did a Shift Enter, which gave me a line break. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to go after the word poolside in the last paragraph in our main content, and I'm going to hit Enter. And you're going to insert an image called Cafe Photo. And then you would call, and your alt text is going to be Sand Crab Cafe Photo. So we're going to insert image and Cafe Photo. And then your alt tag will be Sand Crab Cafe Photo. So your page should look like this. Now, when I preview this page, this is where we're at, right? Now, something that I would like you to notice when I am on this preview is I have this green area up here for my header information, but notice what happens right here. Do you see how it doesn't go down to cover where my actual menu bar is? So we're going to go in and put some enters in the correct spot to get that green to go all the way down so it doesn't look like it just ends right behind our logo. Just so you can see where we're at. I just wanted to preview that. So back in DreamWeaver, I'm going to work in a little bit of my split screen area here because I want to make sure that I'm in the right area. So I'm going to look right here where it says Sidebar 1. And this is going to be the beginning of that Sidebar 1. And right here, it ends that Sidebar 1. Do you notice that? And I'm going to go ahead and put some enters in. So I selected it in design in code view. Then I'm going back and putting in some enters. That did not work right. I like it when that happens. You do want to have one enter in. I'm going to take one of mine out. What I'm looking for is that I can get this text indented a little bit, and I really did that with 2 enters. Well, I was in code view. I want to split screen it. So well, this right here is just a comment. So I can move my comment to there. Does that make sense? So when I see code like this, where it's an exclamation point there, that is really just commented out code. It doesn't do anything. My actual ending of the sidebar is right here, because this div tag starts my sidebar, this div tag ends my sidebar. Okay, so we want to go up here in the head one, right before this div tag, the ending div tag there. That's going to be where we're going to get our enters to move that down. So right before that ending head one, I click in code view, then I'm going to switch to design view and hit enter twice, and that filled up that green area. So I'm just going to show you again. So in code view, I am clicked right here where it says end header. This is where my cursor is. Switch to design view and hit enter. And when you do that, you see how the green went down one spot? And now you'll have it there. Save, preview, and it should look like that. What we're going to do now is we're going to work on a little bit of our formatting, because when I look here at this information, I'm going to want to center some of this text. So back in DreamWeaver, I'm going to put my cursor directly to the left of our Sand Crab Cafe logo, this little blue crab. So I selected it, and then I moved my cursor with my arrow key one to the left. And then you will see on the very right-hand side, my Cascading Style Sheet panel. We are in Sidebar 1. We're going to edit this rule. So I'm going to go ahead and then click on the pencil. So Sidebar 1 is selected. And I'm going to click on the pencil to edit this rule. And I'm going to get this pop-up menu. Okay, so my cursor is to the left of my Sand Crab Cafe, my Cascading Style Sheet panel. Sidebar 1 is selected. I click on the pencil. Basically, what we want to do, we want to switch to the block category, and we want to change our text align to center. Again, you have your Sand Crab Cafe logo. You move your cursor one to the left. On the right-hand side, in your Cascading Style Sheet panel, Sidebar 1 is selected. You then click on this little pencil, and then the pop-up menu is going to appear. If you don't have your Cascading Style Sheets panel, you may need to turn it on by going to Window and putting a check mark in front of Cascading Style Sheets. Once you get that selected, you will go to Block, change your text align to center. You can then click on OK. Now, what happens when you click on OK? Ole, 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 ole. Ocle, ocle. For our stripped umbrella, we'll go ocle. You will notice that our text and everything got centered. Now, I want to do the same thing for footer. But here's the thing. I am not going under my properties panel here for the text. I'm changing it in my Cascading Style Sheet. So I'm going to click right here in my footer. And then when I click in the footer, you will notice, okay, it didn't switch to footer. You need to choose on the right-hand side from Sidebar 1 to your footer rule. Click on your pencil, go to Block, Text Align, Center. Okay. So I have that red box selected. And then on my property panel, or my Cascading Style Sheet, I'm going to have my body tag selected. Dylan, I need to sign a pass, please. Okay, so I have the body tag selected. The very top one. And then I'm going to click on Edit That Rule. It is the 1st, all day long, May 1st. May Day, May Day, May Day. But may the 4th be with you. And we're going to go through and go to our type category, and we're going to change our font, and we're going to switch it from Verdana. We're going to go to the Arial Helvetica Sans Serif. Actually, go into Stone Service. So that just changed our font. Now my question to you style formatting that we did, is it on the page or is it on the link style sheet? Okay, so if I look here in my cascading style sheet, do you see I have SU styles and then I have styles? So this style one is actually the embedded cascading style sheet on the page for this page layout. Okay, so we will pick that up tomorrow. Thanks for being patient.